What's up, ladies and gentlemen? James Williams, the one and only Dark Waters, also known as the Stankonian Ambassador. Let me clear my throat. Okay. So, guys, let me say this before I get to talking about this. This is a point of no return for many of you. If you want to keep your current context in place, at this point in time, you should not watch this video. If you want to, understand and just be normal, don't watch this. Because now we reached the point where I'm talking about stuff that's there's no blue pill, there's just red Skittle and red Skittle. And no red blue pill. Red Skittle, red Skittle. You heard me? So I'm gonna tell you something. I gotta get you eat my red Skittle. I ain't stopping. This mean red mean we busting through. I know you're supposed to red pill, blue pill, take the blue pill. I'm taking the red pill. This is crazy. All right, watch this. So I'm sitting here chilling, and I'm talking to my business partner, and I said, Ruach, man, I said I want to follow up on yesterday. I think I'm gonna chunk down on what we was looking at yesterday. What you think? And he says, maybe you should chunk up. I said, chunk up. Every answer ain't hidden, son. So I started looking, started digging, and I see it right there in front of me. King Lizard. The one that's telling y'all what they're doing to you. King Lizard. Right there in front of everybody. That's why I got to talk about King Lizard. So here's what I want you to understand. I might have to delete this video later for the sake of monetization, but we're going to run it right now. We're going to run it. And I'm going to start off by saying this. These people, these lizard people, they function in these closed circles where there's no one that challenges their thoughts, opinions, and ideas. Because everybody around them sees them, because everybody around them sees them as being powerful, sees them as being influential. So they function in a realm, in an echo chamber. And inside the echo chamber, everybody's like, oh my goodness, you're great. You're phenomenal. You're fantastic. Blah, 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 blah. You're awesome. And so they never, ever hear somebody tell them, kiss my black grits. I'm not going to say it because YouTube going to trip. Kiss my grits. Nobody tells them kiss my grits. So they move forward with this expectation that people should listen to them. Now, I'm just going to play it. I want y'all to hear this conversation, and I'll interject as it goes along to point out some things to you. But I need you to understand. So on the right-hand side, you got King Lizard. On the left-hand side, you got a lizard woman who wants to be down with the king.
Ideally, you have people forming up opinions and desires and then voting for a government that represents them. But we know it works both ways. The government has enormous power to shape the opinions and desires of the population, and this power only increases today with the new technologies of surveillance, mass surveillance, and social media, and so forth. So when the government can, the government is not just responsive to the will of the people. It can shape the will of the people. And this really destabilizes the democratic system. Mm-hmm. Also, the media has an enormous role to play in this. That if the government has too much control over the media, then it's not like people are forming their own independent views about what's happening. We now have the power, or at least not we, but some governments and corporations for the first time in history have the power to basically hack human beings.
Stop right there. I need you to understand something. At a first glance and first listen, this guy sounds like what he's saying is absolutely reasonable. I mean, it's obvious that that's what's going on. Now, for those of you who've been following these videos, the reason why we got to this point is because we were looking at oxytocin. We were looking at the whole entire trust movement, which we see where governments are pushing towards trust, and their focus is on bringing citizens into trusting via manipulation. That's how we got to this point. At first glance, listening to what he says, he sounds reasonable. And this is why it's important for you to listen to people. Unfortunately, on social media, everybody hears a statement and they want to just comment. You have to listen to what people are saying. He just said, we have reached a point to where, and then he says, not we, governments and corporations. I'm going to rewind it and I'm going to break it down for you. And then I want you to listen for the term we as he uses it. Watch this.
Have the power, or at least not we, but some governmental system. Also, the media has an enormous role to play in this. That if the government has too much control over the media, then it's not like people are forming their own independent views about what's happening. We now have the power, or at least not we, but some governments and corporations for the first time in history have the power to basically hack human beings.
All right. Here we go. Let's go down a rabbit hole. He talks about governments. We know what he means by government. I think in order to understand what this man is saying, you need to understand what the real definition of a corporation is. I don't know if I should even go that deep into this on YouTube, but I'll say this. Corporations are not just Boeing and Coca-Cola and Windows or Microsoft. There are people who are corporations. There are family office corporations. And so there are the corporations he's talking about are people and entities that are corporations. And I know it's like, oh, DW, you tripping, you bugging. Hey, man, may the Lord reveal it to you, because I'm not about to lose my monetization trying to reveal truths to you that you probably won't research yourself. But what I'll say to you is this. This man is telling you that certain corporations, both, big office corporations and people, now control you and have the ability to hack you. And when he refers to governments, he refers to it as we, because they infiltrated governments, they have infiltrated governments, and they control government. But it ain't over. Homie is wilding. You ain't heard nothing yet. Hold on.
There's a lot of talk about hacking computers, hacking smartphones, hacking bank accounts, but the big story of our era is the ability to hack human beings. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible.
Now, in context of the videos we've been watching, remember we watched the video about with the lizard dude in the middle that was moving his hands like this? And if we can study and if we can research and we can do this, now you understand why they want to research all human behavior, all the way down to your infant baby. Because they want to be able to hack you and manipulate you. That's why they're stuck. Now, and understand, what entity, it ain't human. It's not like me and you that wants to completely control and hack other human beings or other people. Why would you want to do that? And you ain't heard nothing. Nothing. This man is wild. And then people say, oh, DW, you crazy because you call them lizard people. Well, if that's not a lizard behavior, what the is it? It definitely is alien. It ain't human thought processes. At least, at minimum, it's outsourced from a evil lower dimension to want to have that kind of control. But you ain't heard nothing. You about to hear? Hold on.
And in such a situation, the old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals.
Now, he just told you a whole bunch. We need to reinvent democracy, which means that they invented democracy. You got to listen to what people saying, man. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era where humans are hackable. The nation I live in is a constitutional republic. If I'm not mistaken, I remember being a kid with my hand over my heart. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, under God. Huh. You see what I'm saying? But you got to listen. See, and that's why the whole rollout of the short 30-second clip social media is destroying the brains of people because you can't listen. I see it all the time when I put out a short video. I'll sit there and say something. Nobody listen to what I say because they can't hear anymore. They hear words, but they can't listen. If you listen to what I'm saying, it's a whole different thing. But if you just hear words and then run off what you think you heard, oh yeah. These lizards playing the crap out of everybody.
You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will.
I'm going to rewind that so you can hear what this lizard said. Watch this. The whole idea.
The old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will. And
listen to what the man said. This whole idea that humans, which means he's excluding himself from what's being said, he's talking about humans like there's something different than him. So when I call him a lizard person or a demon or whatever the hell you want to call him, don't look at me like I'm crazy. Because he's telling you what he is. He's telling you what he believes. This whole idea that you have a soul and that you have free will and that these ideas in your head don't exist anymore because you're hackable. Now, a nugget I'm going to drop on you. Real nugget. Everybody has a soul, but your soul don't belong to you. Your soul belongs to God who created the soul. So what these people do is they get people to sell their allegiance. You can't sell a soul because it don't belong to you. So they get you to sell your allegiance, which makes you believe that you sold your soul. And what this man is doing right now, as we speak, is convincing people to sell their allegiance towards his ideas and his concept. And he's convincing some of the most powerful people, this lizard, convincing some of the most powerful people in the world that this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to align together. And what's amazing is people are hackable. They just proved it. I mean, we could test it as a Dog Waters family. People are hackable, but that don't mean you hack them. See, that's the difference between having morals and ethics. Morally, you say, okay, it's possible, but I'm not going to do that to nobody. This is how you know these lizards don't have morals. When you listen to what they say, I'm telling you, listen. And make sure you hear what's said.
nobody knows what's happening inside me, so whatever.
Hold on, I'm going to rewind this.
And this really destabilizes the democratic system. Also, you know, the media has an enormous role to play in this. That if the government has too much control over the media, then it's not like people are forming their own independent views about what's happening. We now have the power, or at least not we, but some governments and corporations for the first time in history have the power to basically hack human beings. There is a lot of talk about hacking computers, hacking smartphones, hacking bank accounts, but the big story of our era is the ability to hack human beings. And by this I mean that if you have enough data and you have enough computing power, you can understand people better than they understand themselves, and then you can manipulate them in ways which were previously impossible. And in such a situation, the old democratic system stopped functioning. We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. We need to come to terms with.
This man just declared that your free will and what you choose in an election or what you eat is over. That was a declaration, a public declaration. This whole idea that Whatever I choose in the election or what I eat at the supermarket is over. Are you listening to what this man is saying to you? Are you listening to what this lizard? Because that can't be no man. No man thinks that way. I mean, that's a soulless hybrid Nephilim lizard. That's the seed of the fallen. I'm sorry. Let's just keep it real. That's what the hell that thing is right there.
The fact that, no matter, again, this is where philosophy meets computer science and biology. No matter what you think ultimately is the truth of the universe, you have to realize that practically today we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale.
Pardon my language. And I'm a curse. This motherfucker say, fuck what you believe about God. You have to realize that we can hack you. I mean, real talk, that's what he said, man, fuck what you believe about God. Pardon my language, ladies and gentlemen. But I needed to hit home. I'm gonna play it again. And look in his eyes when he's saying it.
And biology. No matter what you think ultimately is the truth of the universe, you have to realize that practically today we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale. And this means we need to reinvent democracy. We need to reinvent the market. Again, the whole idea of the customer is always right. We just do whatever the customers want. Yes, but you can now hack the customers. You can manipulate the customers to want what you tell them to want. So this whole idea that corporations just serve the needs of the customers, this is over. You can't hide behind this explanation anymore.
How many of y'all know what looping is in the world of influence? Looping is when you say something three different times in three different ways. Now, these snippets cut out her interactions with him because I wanted to get the highlighted snippets of the conversation, but keep it in context. But nonetheless, what you're seeing this man demonstrate is a process of called looping. And each time he's saying it in a different way, which is a form of manipulation, a very, very powerful form of manipulation. So if you run into somebody and they tell you something one way, and then they don't get the response they want, they tell you another way, it's kind of like cracking a code to a safe. You know, you have the little safe with the dial on it. You tell them one way and you turn this way, and they don't get it, and you turn this way, and you turn back that way, then pop, you pop open the safe. What you're witnessing live is him manipulate the conversation full of manipulation. Now, the reason why it comes across so powerful is because this lizard really believes this. And I can understand how he believes it, because he ain't never been in a room with nobody who said, man, I'll smack the dog out of you. He ain't never been there. Probably never will be. Never will be. But this is how lizard people take control.
Maybe the pandemic is this disruption of a world pandemic is an opportunity for a change that we might need listening to you. Of course, after 10 months of COVID, nothing will take us back to December 19.
Now, I'm going to keep it real with you. See, if I was sitting there with that man, I'd have said, say, homie, real talk. And I don't mean to be disrespectful. Who the fuck do you think you are to say that this is what it needs to be? Who made you God? Who made you ruler of humanity? You fucking lizard person? Let's start from the beginning. Who made you God? When did you die and wake up and get up? You know what I'm saying? Let's start with that. When did you resurrect from the grave, motherfucker?
But can we begin to imagine a new reality of a post-pandemic world?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to see. This is why I be struggling to go down these rabbit holes. I want to apologize for my language. They make me go Samuel L. Jackson. I'm serious. You just heard me go Samuel L. Jackson watching this motherfucker. See, I did it again. I mean, I can't help it. They make me go Sam Jackson. I'm tired of these mother snakes on this mother plane. I'm just telling you, man. They make me go Samuel L. Jackson.
You know, the job market, the real estate businesses, the family, the leisure culture, performing arts, everything changes right now.
Yeah, we have no choice. We need to reimagine a new future because we can't go back to the past. It's impossible. Even before COVID,
The vaccine won't help us go
the
to the
vaccine
test, of course.
will help us, of course. It will make things, more manageable.
But it won't take the
So basically, they broke the world, and they're telling you can't go back to what it was because they broke it. Lizard people broke the whole economy, broke everything, and now they're giving you a solution of what they broke. And there go King Lizard. I think I'm doing real well. Not going full Sam, and that's going to be our thing. When I do go full Sam, I'm going to ask you ahead of time for forgiveness. Forgive me for my mouth. I get a little passionate when it comes to people just blatantly disrespecting everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's like standing on a corner, you smoking a cigarette, talking to your friend, and the dude just walk up and step on your shoe and just keep walking. He don't say, excuse me. He don't say nothing. Man, you slapped the lips off that boy. And he just stepped on the whole world's shoes at one time.
We can't go back. We were already in a process of rapid change, fueled by new technologies.
Let me eat my Skittles.
COVID just accelerated it. Changes that we thought would take 10, 20 years, like moving a lot of courses in the university online, they happened within 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months because of COVID. But they were already underway anyway.
There's now no reason to live close to work or close to the academic center.
Yeah.
There's no, the city centers are losing their function right now.
Yeah, everything is being digitalized, everything is being monitored.
And the elderly are isolated.
You have not only the elderly, also the young.
Hold up. Let me swallow this skill. Did you see the smile on this heifer face when she said the elderly are isolated? Let's go back. She's a lizard. Watch this. This is why I say you got to be listening. That you got to see the smile on her face when she says the elderly are isolated. Who in the hell is excited about that? Watch this.
Process of rapid change, fueled by new technologies. COVID just accelerated it. Changes that we thought would take 10, 20 years,
you need to see this, watch.
Moving a lot of courses in the university online, they happened within 2-3 weeks or 2-3 months because of COVID. But they were already underway anyway.
There's now no reason to live close to work or close to the academic center.
Yeah.
There's no, the city centers are losing their function right now.
Yeah, everything is being digitalized. Everything is being monitored.
And the elderly are isolated.
You see that smile, that evil smile on her face? You see it? Let me just make it full screen. Look at that smile. Like, she's like, and the elderly are isolated. Like, we achieved all our goals that we set forth. And think about it. Literally listing out the goals. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The colleges, universities are closed. The city centers are closed. People be saying the stink on the ambassador is crazy. Let me show you her smile again. I wish I could zoom in on her. In the words of Blue. In fact, I'm going to put it to another thing and I'm going to zoom in on her. But watch this.
You have not only the elderly, also the young are isolated, and we are in the midst of a tremendous social upheaval. We can't go back, but it doesn't mean that the future has to be bad. It's often said that you should never allow a good crisis to go to waste, because a crisis is an opportunity.
I'm going to be smacking in your ear. Are you listening to what this man is saying? I wasn't supposed to be talking. Are you listening to what this man is saying? To what the lizard is saying to you? Well, Dog Waters is crazy. You crazy, Dog Waters. You done lost your mind. You don't know what you're talking about.
To also do good reforms that in normal times people will never agree to, but in a crisis, you see we have no chance. So let's do it. And, we can react to this crisis in very different ways. You can react to the crisis by generating hatred, blaming the epidemic on foreigners, on minorities. You can react to the epidemic by generating greed, How do I make as much money out of it as possible? You can react by generating ignorance, inventing and spreading all kinds of ridiculous conspiracy theories. Bill Gates created this epidemic in a laboratory to take over the world. Or you can react by generating wisdom, believing science, realizing that in this time of crisis, you have to follow science, not these conspiracy theories. You generate not hatred, but compassion, finding ways to cooperate with people in your country and all over the world. Because, the big advantage of humans over viruses is that we can cooperate in ways the virus can't. A virus in China can't give advice to a virus in the US about how to infect people. But doctors in China, in the US, and Israel and Brazil can come together, share information, share the results of their observations, experiments, in order to develop treatments, vaccines. And it's not just insights about the virus. It's also psychological insights, economic insights. Countries all over the world are facing the same problems. Why?
Hey, man. I don't know if y'all hearing what this man is saying to you or what this lizard is saying. So I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to come back because I'm about to go full Sam Jackson. What the lizard is saying, in context from his first video, let's start from the very first offensive thing he said, which was that you ain't got no damn choice. And he basically declared that the existence of the world is over and everything's going to go according to what he said. Then the lizard said, F God and whatever you believe in, you're going to have to accept that you are hackable. Then the lizard disclosed that, hey, they listed out everything that they got out of the, I don't know, whatever word we want to use for the shutdown. Excuse me. Then, now he's telling you how he anticipates and expects you to take advantage of it. So he listed out the ways that it could be approached. Now he's going into the ways that you should take advantage of, and he's telling people what they should do. Remember, we talked the first thing was Billy, and then next thing is, oh, you can go conspiracy, or you can go science, or you can go this, you can go this. Think about it for a second. To articulate things at this level, I mean, really just think. To articulate things at this level, the thought process that it would take to articulate, unless you're a prophet, which that's clearly not a prophet, that's clearly a lizard. Unless you are a prophet, you're not going to be able to articulate things at this level. This video is 2 years old. You're not going to be able to articulate things at this level unless you were a part of the planning of it. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Look, James Williams, the Stankonia ambassador. I'll be back. We're going to take a break before I go full Sam Jackson out here in these streets. I'm serious. I might go full Sam Jackson. I'll be back.